Hello, everybody. This is Michal Spiegelman from Balance Moments, and I'm here to share with you 11 best practices for explaining Reiki to other people. And I want to explain first why I am sharing those best practices. I think that it's really important for all of us to get more confident with educating people and sharing about Reiki. I get lots of questions from our students on how to share Reiki with other people. We actually have a specific segment in the Reiki Masterclass when we practice and talk about what speech can we give and how can we share Reiki with people. But even when you're a Reiki level 1 practitioner or Reiki level 2 practitioner, I wanted to start really feeling confident and practicing sharing about Reiki with other people. So we're going to start right in, and when I'm done sharing the practices, I'm going to take you through a short tutorial to help you access the resources and the video demos that we have on the Lively Start Reiki Resource Center, just to make sure that you know how to get that and how to access the resources. But first, let's go over the 11 practices, and we're going to start with the first one. And the first one, as you can see on the screen, is know your why. And when I think about why, I think about, first of all, our collective and bigger why, the reason why you and I and all of us are connected to Reiki, what attracted us first to even want to know about Reiki. So this is the collective why. And when I think about myself, when I connected with Reiki in 1996, my real motivation was, or my real desire was self-healing. I wanted to heal my heart. I didn't have any plan or any intention to create a business, and to be where I am today. But even though I started from self-healing, I allowed myself to be led by Reiki, and Reiki guided me and was my guiding light that led me to share Reiki with people in a bigger way. So even if your reason is also self-Reiki, that's why you connect to Reiki, again, there is a bigger reason, something that is bigger than us, a collective reason why we are meant to be connected to Reiki. And in addition to the big collective why, we each have our own personal why. And I wanted to take a minute and think about yourself. Why? What attracted you to Reiki? Why is it important for you to share Reiki with other people? Get clear with your why. That's the first step. And the second practice is get clear on what Reiki means to you. And before you talk with other people about Reiki, think about you. What do you like about Reiki? How it makes you feel? What's your favorite part about it? And when you get clear with what it means for you, then from that perspective, it's easier for you to share it with other people. So earlier this week, I posted on the Reiki Facebook group a question. The question was, what do you like the most about Reiki? And I just want to read some of the comments that many of you posted. And when you think about those words that you chose to describe what you like the most about Reiki, that can really be your starting point when you explain Reiki to other people. So let me read a few examples. John wrote, oneness. Jennifer, it's always there for me. Ruth, it's pure energy and power. Priscilla, strengths. Alison, healing. Myrna, it's universal healing, not limited to time or space. Deidre, unconditional love. Rachel, healing. Bridget, peace. Elaine, inner peace. So if this is what you like about Reiki, and those are the words that you chose, then make them your starting point and tell your story of Reiki and tell how it makes you feel using those words that you chose to describe the Reiki. Number 3, I really want to differentiate here between a Reiki conversation when you initiate it and you want to educate someone about Reiki, or if they ask you. So when they ask you about Reiki, let's say somebody say, can you explain Reiki to me? I want to know about it. Then reply with a question. And the question is, what makes you ask about Reiki? Why do you want to know? So I receive lots of phone calls from people that are considering taking the classes. And when they call me and say, I'm thinking about maybe taking the class, can you tell me about Reiki? Then I ask them, sure, I'll be happy to tell you, but can you tell me what makes you ask about Reiki? And then based on their answer, then I will direct my explanation. So if they say, I want to balance my chakras, then I will talk about how Reiki can help balance chakras. Or if they say, I'm really low energy, I don't have energy to function, then I will talk about how you can boost your body with energy, especially when you learn to give Reiki to yourself. So when I hear what brought them to Reiki, then it's easier for me to decide what angle to shine the light on when I explain Reiki to them. The next practice is when you're the one who initiated the conversation. And if you want to talk to someone about Reiki, ask their permission, get their buy-in. So for example, let's say that you're in a party and somebody has a headache and you want to offer to give them Reiki, then you can say, I learned this healing modality, it's called Reiki. I think it can help you now. Will it be okay if I explain it to you in a few minutes? In few sentences, and then you just explain it to them. Or if you want to maybe share with a friend or with a colleague even at work about Reiki and see if they would be interested in getting a Reiki demo, then you can say, I took this class, really cool class, it's called Reiki, and I'm so excited about it. Will it be okay if I'll tell you a little bit about it? And when they say yes, you got their buy-in and they're engaged with you, so then it's easier for you to share your perspective on Reiki. Number 5, the next practice is know your audience, use their language. So again, let's say that you are talking to people who are part of a spiritual group, then you know that they are seeking spirituality, so you can use a more spiritual language. Let's say that you are talking to a person who's sick, then you can talk to them about the benefits of Reiki, how it can help or boost the body with the energy that it needs to heal. I often talk to people who are sick, and I say something like, it's not your fault that you're sick, but it is your responsibility to be engaged in the healing process. And when you learn to give Reiki to yourself, that's exactly what you do. You are engaged in your healing process. Or let's say you talk to someone who's overwhelmed and really stressed, and they say, I'm just so stressed, I'm just stressing out all the time, that's why I want to know about Reiki. Then you will talk about the stress reduction aspect of it. That's why it's important to know your audience and then to use the language that speaks to them. Number 6 is start simple. You really want to start simple. Again, if you think about what it means for you, or how does Reiki make you feel, and that's where you start, whatever you're comfortable with, and you just say one sentence. For example, Reiki is a spiritual healing practice that promotes balance and relaxation. Or you can say Reiki is an energy healing modality. Start very simple. And then, instead of explaining how it works, talk about how it makes you feel and let them ask questions. Because when you let them ask questions, you will just, in the moment, you'll know how to answer the questions. But make it very simple. The next practice, number 7, is share your experience, enthusiasm, and how Reiki makes you feel. So I already covered how Reiki makes you feel, but I want to talk about the word enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, passion, those are more important than actually what you say. You might think that you have to be very knowledgeable and to be able to explain how the Reiki works. No, you just want to be able to share your passion and to share your enthusiasm, because people will connect to you emotionally. That's why if you talk about yourself and your experience and how it makes you feel, or how you felt when you took the class, you really don't need to explain too much what it is and how it works. You can always tell people, just Google it and read more about Reiki. Let me tell you what I love about it, or how it makes me feel. Number 8, if you get stuck, go practical. So let's say you're in the middle of a conversation with a person and you just have, just you forget what you want to say, and you find yourself lost in the conversation. So you can go practical. You can say something like, there are really 2 ways to benefit from Reiki. One is that you learn to give it to yourself, and the other one is that you receive a Reiki from somebody else who's trained in Reiki, like me. You made it practical. You can even make it more practical and say, when you receive Reiki, you lay fully clothed on a massage table, or you simply sit on a chair. And then the Reiki practitioner will just lay their hands, and it's a very gentle touch. And actually, it can be done also with no touch. And the only thing you feel is a deep sense of relaxation. Most of the people fall asleep when they receive Reiki, and you just get very peaceful and calm. So I didn't say anything about how it works or even what is it. I made it more practical, just so don't know. You'll be surprised how many people think that Reiki, just like a massage, is with no clothes on. Or how many people don't even know that you can actually learn to give it to yourself. That's why you can always take the practical path. So let's see what's the next one. The next one is get them on a chair for a short demo. That's the best way. You want to say the best way to understand Reiki is to experience Reiki. Would you like to have a seat here, and for 5 minutes I'll just give you Reiki? And you can even give them Reiki and at the same time explain to them if you don't want to just be quiet and be in a more like a meditation state. But 5 minutes of Reiki, 10 minutes of Reiki, even just the head area, the shoulders, will be very helpful. By the way, in the Lively Start Reiki Resource Center, I created a video for you that explains and demonstrates how to give Reiki on a chair. And I'll talk a little bit later again about how to access the videos. But get them on a chair and do a short demo for them. That's the best way to experience it. Number 10, the next practice is don't take it personally if they are not interested. And this is inspired by a very cool conversation that we had on the Reiki Facebook group this week. And I want to thank those of you who really shared deep sharing and wonderful perspectives on how to respond when someone is not interested. So first of all, I never try to convince anybody for Reiki. I know it's hard when it's a loved one or a family member or someone you know that Reiki can help them, but they're not interested. But honestly, there's so many people out there that can benefit from Reiki and that would love that. So whoever is skeptical, let's just let them find their way and shift our focus to somebody else. And Steffi shared on the Facebook group this week on this post about Reiki rejection. She shared not to take it personally, and I thank you, Steffi, for sharing that. And I would like to read a quote from the 4 Agreements that Steffi mentioned, and the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. that's what he says in the book. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And that's for agreement. So don't take it personally. And if they are not interested, it's totally fine. Just have compassion for that. Number 11, the last practice, kind of like summarizing everything, is remember your energy speaks louder than your words. So those are the 11 best practices for explaining Reiki to others, and I encourage you to go through these steps and maybe reflect a little bit and write down to yourself a few ideas or some clarity and insight that you get, just reflection, whatever comes up for you about each one of those 11 steps. That by itself, just doing that, will make you more confident and will help you be more comfortable sharing Reiki with others. When you want to talk to people about Reiki, or maybe to send an email to your friends and tell them that you're practicing Reiki, you can always send them the link to this video, a YouTube video. That's Dr. Oz talking about Reiki. It's just 2 minutes, and I'm going to just play it now so we can watch it.
Medical schools and hospitals in this country. And I know firsthand the amazing miracles we can achieve with modern Western medicine. But I also know that for centuries, people around the world have developed alternative therapies to treat the body, mind, and the soul. So today, I'm revealing my ultimate alternative medicine secrets. If you've got a medical problem you can't solve, you may find the answer in the next few minutes. Start by paying attention to this. It provides me a good segue into what I think may be ultimately the most important alternative medicine treatment of all. And we are embarking on this whole new vista of opportunities. It broadens dramatically the spectrum of where we might be able to go in our bodies. And this is the area of energy medicine. And joining me today is Pamela Miles. Pamela's actually been to the operating room with me when we have done Reiki, and you're a Reiki master. My wife Lisa's a Reiki master. So when the kids get sick, or when I'm out of sorts, she actually comes by. I can't even tell when she's treating me. Sometimes she secretly treats me. She thinks I'm in a bad mood, and I see hands moving around, but I actually feel the heat. If you don't mind, maybe we can do some Reiki. Have you had Reiki therapy before? I have. Okay, so once you try it, as you're doing, if you don't mind explaining, Pamela, a little bit about Reiki.
Certainly. Reiki is a balancing practice. And so rather than addressing the headache or whatever else is the problem, what it does is it influences the person's overall system toward balance. And then as her system becomes more balanced, symptoms tend to fall away. Then over time, for example, if you get headaches, you may find that you get them less frequently.
Do you feel anything, Delita?
Oh, yes, my headache's going away.
Your headache's going away. And do you feel any heat?
Yes.
Because those are usually what I feel. Here are the 3 things I want you.
So this was Dr. Oz, and that's a really nice way to share about Reiki with others, just to send them a link to this video. And when I receive phone calls, or somebody asks me about the church or the religion, and if Reiki does not conflict with that. So again, I never try to convince anybody. The only thing I do is I ask them if they would like me to send them a link to this website. It's www.christianreiki.org, and this is a wonderful resource. It's a website where Christian leaders, Reiki masters are sharing really about their experience and how Christianity and Reiki are complementing each other. And I always explain, and Takata said it, that Reiki is not a religion, it's a spiritual practice, but it's really it enhances actually any religion. So not to convince, not to put any pressure, but send this website to people who are interested to know more about that. So those are my recommendations, and I invite you to email me your questions or to post them on the Facebook group, anything that you want to know about explaining Reiki to others, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I think what's really important is for all of us to remember that we are meant to share our light, to share our gifts with others. It is our sacred responsibility to educate people about Reiki, and especially now with what's going on in the world, not only that we are responsible to keep our own practice and give Reiki to ourselves, but educate and share it as much as we can with other people. So like I said in the beginning of the call, there are lots of resources that are available for you, and I do want to just make sure that you know how to access the resource center. So this is on our membership site. It's called Lively Start, and as you can see on the screen now, when you log into Lively Start, and I'll tell you in a minute about your personal login, then you have lots of free resources. For example, you have a PDF here about explaining the detox process. You have here the description of our Reiki lineage with pictures and the stories behind it. You also have some videos like, for example, how to connect with Reiki quickly and even quicker, and another video on how to give Reiki to yourself. There's some resources that are available only for Reiki masters or only for Reiki level 2 practitioners with the symbols and the mantras, and there are other resources who are available for everybody, including 2 videos, one on how to give Reiki to somebody else on a chair, and one on how to give Reiki to somebody else on a massage table. All those are available for you. Use the resources. I'm creating and adding more resources really just for you. And when you get to the Lively Start website, which is livelystart.com, then if you don't know your password, even though we sent it to you via email, and it's always the same password, so you look for the email that you got from us. But if you forget your password, just see here at the bottom of the screen where it says lost password, and you just click on lost password, and then you get to the screen where you can enter your email address, and then the password is going to be sent to you. Please note that you have to enter the same email address that you used to log in to the site before, because if you do not enter the new email address, you're not going to receive your password. But that's really, that's it, it's very simple, and yeah, and you can always access the resources. So I think that's it for now. I do encourage you to stay engaged with the community, to stay engaged with me, to access the resources in the resource center, and as I said, to tap into Reiki, use it every day for yourself, but also tap into our collective responsibility to share our light, to share our gifts in a bigger way with everybody else. Thank you. I appreciate your being here with me.